Hi, I'm Tara from the Australian Marine Conservation Society, and I'm here to answer some of your questions about the Plastic Investigation Unit Shopper Survey. Which produce should I choose to investigate? You can choose any produce item at random, but just make sure that you're comparing similar items. For example, you can choose Granny Smith apples in a packet and Granny Smith apples loose. Make sure that it's a comparable product. If the item that you've chosen doesn't come available prepackaged or loose, that's really helpful information as well. So make sure you let us know in the survey. What if there's no price difference between the prepackaged and the loose option? You can still do the survey with that option. That's still really helpful information for us. Remember, we want to track the supermarket's progress to see whether they're offering more produce at the same or cheaper price than the prepackaged option. So if the supermarket that you're shopping at has no price difference or the loose option is cheaper, that's still really helpful information, and you can complete the survey on that item. Does the item need to be available both prepackaged and loose? No, you can choose any produce item, and if it turns out that it's only available loose or it's only available prepackaged, still complete the survey. That's really helpful data for us to gather. It's important for us to understand which supermarkets are offering both loose and prepackaged, or preferably just loose, and it's really helpful for us to understand what types of produce items are only available loose or only available prepackaged. Which supermarkets can I do the survey at? Our report Unwrapped looks at the 4 major supermarkets in Australia by market share: Woolworths, Coles, Aldi and Metcash, who own independent stores like IGA and Foodland. So it's best if you can complete the survey at those 4 supermarkets, but if you're keen to tell us about fresh produce in other supermarkets, go right ahead. It's really helpful for us to have a comparison. Can I assess a fresh produce item that's on sale? Yes, you absolutely can. This is still really important information for us, and the prices of fresh produce fluctuate week by week. What I've found at the supermarket is often when one item is on sale, for example, the loose apples, the prepackaged option isn't, and vice versa. So you can complete the survey if a produce item is on sale. Just avoid things like quick sale that are trying to get produce out before they expire or before they go bad, because this isn't representative of the prices in the supermarkets. Can I complete the survey more than once? Absolutely, please do. We find that the prices in supermarkets for fresh produce tend to fluctuate week by week. So you can complete the survey multiple times in the same store for different items. You can complete the survey multiple times in the same day at different supermarkets, or you can come back to the same supermarket time and time again, just leave about a week in between and the prices might have changed. So you can do this survey every week when you do your weekly shopping or fortnightly shopping, and we'll have this survey open for the next few months. So there's plenty of opportunities to help us gather data for this survey. When should I complete this survey? Because we're asking you to compare 2 fresh produce items, you'll need to complete it once you're at the supermarket. And I recommend you do the survey just before you start your weekly shop so that you don't have a trolley full of groceries waiting for you. It's a really quick survey. It only takes a couple of minutes. So if you can choose a fresh produce item as soon as you walk into the supermarket, you'll be done in no time and you can move on to doing your grocery shop. How long does it take to complete the survey? We've found that most surveys are being completed in less than 5 minutes. Some take as little as 2 minutes, but for others it might take a little bit longer to upload the photos. So it's a really quick survey. It really shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes. If you're having any difficulties though with the survey, you can always complete a hard copy option, which is available on our website, and you can email photos to the following email address: plastics@amcs.org.au. You can reach out on this email address if you have any difficulties with the survey, and we'll help you get it done. What happens to the data that I collect through these surveys? The data collected through these shopper surveys is incredibly important to developing our report, Unwrapped: Plastic Use in Australian Supermarkets. Because supermarkets aren't telling us about how they price their fresh produce, we need eyes and ears in all of the supermarkets all around Australia to help us compare the prices of packed and loose fresh produce and to tell us whether these items are available in both formats. So the data that you're using is de-identified and aggregated. We won't attribute your data to your name if you provide that to us. We won't put that detail into the report. and it's only used for us to compare the prices of prepackaged and loose fresh produce in Australia's 4 major supermarkets. What happens to the photos that I upload in the survey? The photos are really critical for us to validate the data to make sure that it's as accurate as it possibly can be. So we need the pictures to show the produce that you're comparing and the price very clearly for both the prepackaged and the loose item. We might use the photos on our website, on our social media, and in our report to help highlight this really important issue of loose fresh produce being more expensive than prepackaged options. What if I'm having trouble uploading photos to the survey? If you're having difficulties with this, maybe because of the internet or because of the files being too large, you can email them to us at plastics@amcs.org.au. Just make sure you include the supermarket that you're shopping at and the postcode. The survey asks for 2 photos, one for your prepackaged item and one for your loose item. So if you're trying to upload multiple files, it won't work. So make sure it's just one at each of the instances. But again, if you're having troubles, email the pictures to plastics@amcs.org.au. What if I'm having trouble completing the survey on my mobile? Because the survey is housed on a website, you will need internet access to complete and lodge the survey. But we know that sometimes the internet isn't great in shopping centres and supermarkets. So if you're having difficulties doing the survey on your phone, you can print a hard copy from our website, fill it out the old-fashioned way, pen and paper, and then you can take a photo and send it to plastics@amcs.org.au. We'll need you to attach the photos that you took of your 2 fresh produce items, as well as the supermarket that you're at and the postcode. Thank you so much for taking the time to complete these shopper surveys at your local supermarket. It's absolutely critical to the success of this project and for us to keep holding supermarkets to account for the plastic packaging that they continue to pump out. We couldn't do this work without you, so thank you so much.